Hi, I'm here with Alex from Kairos HQ in New York. Alex, can you tell us a little bit about Kairos?
Kairos, we're a venture studio. We build and fund companies that are tackling what we call life essential problems. So think things every consumer needs: housing, healthcare, childcare, potentially student loans. We look at where we see a venture opportunity to go build a better solution for the consumer.
And you're building companies.
Yeah.
And right now, with the current markets cooling, what type of environment is it for building companies, finding talent, thinking through new ideas?
Look, I think it's a great time to build companies, and I think we're the perfect partner for someone who's looking to build. I think a lot of investors are slowing down, we're speeding up, especially because of the nature of our thesis. So we're looking at categories that everyone needs. So whether it's a bull market, whether it's a bear market, there's always going to be an opportunity to provide cheaper rent, clear paths to homeownership, better healthcare. So for us, it's the perfect time. And I think, you know this, the venture studio model is really about having the funding already available to keep investing if the business is working. So we go to founders and say, let's team up now and just get to work and test it.
100%. Yeah, we've seen a lot more founders and even teams coming into the market that may have been laid off from big tech companies, right? Coming and finally starting that company they've been thinking about for 10 years.
Yeah, with entrepreneurship, I think you're always looking for a spark. So it could be a moment of inspiration. It could be someone believing in you. It could be something, I think, less positive like recessions or layoffs. But I think anything to just get you to take that leap.
So when you think about building new companies and you're working with founders that may have an idea, how do you think about the difference between true innovation, novel capabilities, novel technologies versus sometimes what we're seeing, I call it incrementalism, right? Things that may be incrementally better than the current market solution, but not really novel. How do you think about and assess the ideas that are kind of flowing into Kairos?
Yeah, so for us, we look at market failures where if you ask the consumer if this is a problem, they would unanimously say it's a problem. So for us, a small cost savings on something that someone already has or is buying, obviously that can be an interesting business model. We're looking for something where there's no solution out there in the market, where a market failure has prevented a startup or company from addressing that problem. So to use a specific example, our first company was called Rhino. Replace the security deposit with insurance. So to a renter, you say, hey.
One of my favorite companies, by the way.
Awesome. To a renter, you say, look, you're putting $2,000 down, $1,000 down, $10,000 down, depending on the type of apartment. From the minute you move in, wouldn't you love to have that money back and instead pay a small monthly installment? So when the average millennial has about $1,000 saved, the security deposit's a big deal. No one was tackling that $1,000, $2,000 that people put down and goes to waste. So for us, that was innovation because we created a market. And again, if you talk to consumers, which we do before we start anything, it was very clear that that money is a real pain point, that money could go to work in so many other areas when the cost of life is just going up across the board.
Exactly. And I feel like that company, one of the reasons that I love it so much is it's a really great example of innovation that is resilient in any market, right?
Exactly.
So to your point, you always have a very engaged market and demographic set that you're able to serve through Rhino.
Yeah.
Right?
I think with any market failure, we ask, why doesn't this exist? And I think ideas can be a dime a dozen if you don't have the distribution, if you don't have the actual ecosystem to bring together. So, for us, most of the things we've looked at in prop tech or that touch real estate or touch financial services have required a lot of work on the back end to align the different stakeholders to work together. It doesn't exist because no one's been able to bring the ecosystem together in a way that is a win-win-win for everyone. It's not because no one has thought of it. Best case study for us was Built, which is first credit card where you can earn points on rent and pay rent with no transaction fee. People have thought about paying rent on a credit card. Frankly, you can. There's just a service charge. People have thought about loyalty programs in real estate. It was just about cracking the code to bring everyone together under this one vision.
That's interesting. And Kairos team was able to do that.
So far, yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you for spending time with us today. It was nice to learn a little bit more about what you're building.
Thanks for having us.